Alright, so we're back on the SportsMax Zone and it's time to talk the Jamaica Premier League. Well, the JPL semi-finals kicked off on Sunday with a double-header at Sabina Park. The evening's second class saw regular season champions Waterhouse taking on the Stars of the East, Harbour View. We have the highlights.
Full match highlights now. Colorado Murray, our man of the match, involved in everything good for Harbour View. Defensive work, midfield work, attacking work. Here's his shot off target. Showing the ambition burning brightly in him, wanting to prove something against his former employers. Left them under a cloud early this season. Wanting to prove to them what they missed. Here he goes on a run. Well, this is actually Philon Lawrence. Trying to find the gap between Kamara Foster's legs. Keeper slamming the door shut. Here's Shaquille Bradford. Had some moments in the second half. And Thomas climbed high to get the header, but O'Shane stayed with just a little nudge on the end. Tamara Lewis on target, but Foster's hands safe. Up and over. Priestley. Murray. Finding Trayvon Reed, tried to give the goalkeeper the eyes and go near post. Hit the base of the post though. Priestley forward to Reed. Look at this. Away from two defenders and a burst of pace takes him away from Beans into the clear. And just as he went to lift the ball over the keeper, the ball bobbled. And his finish looked bad. Here's Campbell. Swinging cross in. Mishandled by Bennett. He blocked the shot from Beadle. The back into the path of Keith Simpson. And it was a poor effort from the veteran. Really wants a do-over, Keith Simpson. Because he really ought to have found the target, even if there were bodies on the line. Corner kick. Dyer. Put off by the goalkeeper. Couldn't get his effort on target. Bins forward to Benbow. Working the angle for the shot. It will fall to Bradford. It's blocked on the line by O'Shane Staple. Brilliant intervention from Staple, who had a superb game in defense especially, and on point to help out his goalkeeper. Colorado Murray, punched clear by Foster. Shepherd trying his luck, always drifting wide. The substitute, he was to have a hand in the goal. Murray, watch Shepherd here, lifts it away from Leonardo Thomas, finds Hamilton and runs off the ball, and Hamilton ducks in and then does that. Oh my word, it's a peach on Sunday from Nick Hamilton. About 20 yards out, curling all the time like the tail of a piglet. Kamara Foster, he had a second goalkeeper in the goal. They wouldn't have kept that one out. Nicholas Hamilton's goal, the difference between the teams at the end of the game.
And we had Harbour View there defeating Waterhouse 1-0. Well, in the day's opening game, defending champions Cavalier came up short in a 1-0 loss to Dunbeholden. We have those highlights as well.
So Dunbeholden taking care of Cavalier 1-0. Let's roll the highlights. The one chance that Cavalier, you could say they got, wasn't really a chance. It was an error by Hyatt. He didn't make a connection with his attempted punch away, and indebted to Samuels for clearing his lines for it. Then Shaquem Powell finds Bygrave. He will run at Richard King. He's trying across to find McGregor, but it's blocked by King. And Bygrave looking brighter than we've seen him in recent weeks. And then this moment, swinging free kick from Nicole Christian onto the head of McGregor. And too easy for a striker of his class, too easy for any striker. A striker must be under challenge in the 18-yard box, can't be given easy headers. And it's an easy header that Cavalier gave up to Peter McGregor. He accepted it with a clean. Phillips fires this one, and McGregor again on the money with the left side of the goal gaping. He didn't even ask a question of the keeper. Disappointing of Peter McGregor. Lovely free kick from Demario Phillips. Dunbeholden may have had two. Then Irving and Dyer. Cannon off Kenroy Campbell and over the bar. Leng forward to Campbell. Irving puts in another wicked delivery, and Burton tracking back well and intercepting before Webster could get in on it. Christian Phillips hops it over to Pusey, who was red carded in the melee, and they kissed the junction between crossbar and supporting stanchion with Bartlett beaten. He thought he had seen it out to safety. Really had not. Gadale Irving galloping down the left, cuts in on the right, and he went very close with this, bending all the time, but not in time to get inside the left-hand post. And that's as close as Cavalier got. Then Bygrave bursting through. Ming on a yellow card, so he was very hesitant to engage. Grabbed Bygrave's shirt right there. He went down. That ought to have been a penalty. Missed. Well, not missed. Nemhard was on point. His positioning was good, but he decided that Bygrave went down easily. Didn't give the penalty, and Pusey appeared to strike Bartlett in the face, given a straight red card by Veralton Nemhard. Dunbeholden finished the game with 10 men, but they saw it out to take a 1-0 lead into.
Well, a 10-man Dunbeholden team overcoming Cavalier 1-0. So Lance, maybe it's fitting that we start by talking about that red card.
Well, it's a straight red card. He struck the player. You'll get red cards for that. There's no question about the decision. It happened pretty late in the game, though, and Dunbeholden had already had the lead in the game. So sometimes I hesitate to call that result a 10-man done, because it happened so late in the game when the goal that mattered had already been scored. But Dunbeholden with a result that is not surprising, because they have been one of the top teams from a consistency standpoint and from a roster standpoint all season. We know Cavalier are the defending champions, and you don't want to underestimate them, because they have a young, energetic squad that's full of quick, mobile players on the front end. So Cavalier can reverse this 1-0 deficit in the second leg on Wednesday. But I fancy Dunbeholden, who are the number 2 team in the regular season behind Waterhouse, to keep the lead. When you have big, strong strikers who are also efficient, like Peter McGregor and Ataforai Bygrave on the front end for Dunbeholden, they will always be a hard team to beat. And Nicoy Christian is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, so he keeps feeding them with passes, good passes too, and is a strong goal provider. So Dunbeholden having a clear advantage, it's going to be hard for Cavalier to overturn that now.
Yeah, any major changes that you expect to see from both teams that we're discussing in that second leg?
I'm not thinking so. Dunbeholden has a generally consistent starting roster that they use. Pusey will be out now because of that red card, so they would have to replace him. But I think that Dunbeholden's roster is strong enough to withstand Pusey's red card. And Harold Thomas, who is their coach, is a very astute strategist as far as setting up his team is concerned and getting results. And I think that, you know, with his experience, he should be able to put a Dunbeholden team out there in the second leg that will protect the 1-0 advantage they have.
Yeah, and to touch on the Harbour View win against Waterhouse, they controlled the ball, 50% control, and of course, you know, their man of the match, Colorado Murray, stood out, although, you know, he didn't score the goal, which is very incredible. What did you make of Harbour View's performance, and what do you expect from them in Wednesday's second leg?
Yeah, well, Harbour View keeps surprising us. To be quite honest, I didn't expect them to get by Arnett Gardens in the first stage of the playoffs. Now, yesterday's win that Harbour View had was their first win in open play since early June. Yeah. They've either lost or drawn all of their matches. They qualified for this semi-final playoff on penalties because the match had been drawn. So on performance and results, you keep doubting this Harbour View team because they aren't playing like a team that can go all the way. But they appear to be getting good at the right time, which is the key. When you get into a playoff situation, the important thing is for your team to strike peak form at the right time. Yes. And Nicholas Hamilton's goal there was a tremendous beauty. That's only the second goal he has scored for Harbour View. All of his previous goals, apart from one he scored, I think, back in May, would have been for Cavalier, his previous club. So he has scored for Harbour View now for only the second time since he's been playing. And if Nicholas Hamilton gets his confidence back and starts scoring goals, Harbour View could continue with their surprising results, because this, for me, was a surprising result, because I had Waterhouse as marginally the favourites to win the Premier League this year over Dunbeholden.
Yeah.
And right now, they're behind the 8 ball.
Exactly, and speaking of Nick Hamilton, that goal came in the 81st minute for his team. So we're, keeping it locked to SportsMax, because the second leg comes up on SportsMax 2 this Wednesday. Let's see what Nick Hamilton does in that match. Well, still to come on today's show, our weekend track and field review. The focus will be on this woman, Sharika Jackson, who is embracing the possibility of challenging Flojo's 200-meter world record. That discussion coming up next.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and to click the notification bell to stay informed.